Most people are not successful in high ticket sales. They start and 2 months later, they want to give up because it doesn't work. In this video, I'm going to cover a few main things which people run into that basically make them fail and not want to continue and give up, and how to avoid them. So the first thing is expectations. People come in thinking that this game is easy, that this game won't require much time and effort. You can do this, very passively on the side, a few hours a day maybe. And I think the biggest reason why this happens is because of false marketing. You get a lot of people who advertise high ticket sales as this really easy way to make money, and you can work 2 to 3 hours a day and make 10k a month. In reality, that is not the truth. For 99.9% of offers, that is not the case. You are going to have to work harder than you've ever worked before, and the whole game of sales is a volume game, and I'll speak about this more later on, but it's a volume game. So to assume that you can just come in and work a few hours a day and make 10k a month, right? 10k a month is no small amount of money. 99% of people don't make 10k a month. Doctors in the UK don't make 10k a month. So how can you expect to come in and work a few hours but then earn more money than most people will ever earn, right? It doesn't make sense. Now, can you make 10k a month in high ticket sales? Yes, you can. And can you do it way faster than getting a degree and becoming a doctor? Yes, you can. But the notion that it's going to be easy is one of the biggest, I'm not going to call it a lie because 100% it exists. I know many people making 10k a month, but are they doing that working an hour a day? Absolutely not. Sales is an all-in sport. You literally are competing in a sport, right? You have to see yourself as an athlete, right? First thing that people get wrong is they come in with the wrong expectations. So if you are watching people, right, online, or you see ads where it's like, this is how you can work 3 hours a day and make 10k a month, that person is not giving you a realistic picture of what high ticket sales actually looks like. Are there offers out there where you can do that? Yes, there are offers out there where people are probably working that amount of time and making a lot of money, but they are like golden geeses. You will not find them, and it will take you so much work to actually get on an opportunity like that where you can start making that kind of money. For a beginner, you should not come in with that expectation. You should come in with the expectation that you're going to work harder than you've ever had to work. That's the expectation I want you to take away from this video and implement if you actually are serious about getting into high ticket sales. You can make life-changing money, but you'll also have to work harder than you've ever worked in your entire life, right? So that's number one. Number two is low standards. So most people who actually get into this game, they don't even have the base level of professionalism to actually stand out from anybody else. Most people will come in, they will put in no work whatsoever, and they will assume and they will believe that that is enough for them to be able to make life-changing money and be chosen for offers and actually succeed in this game. But one thing that the 9-to-5 corporate life does well is, if you look at the average person in a 9-to-5, they understand the basics of professionalism. They understand that you have to be on time, right, for your shift in the morning, or you have to look presentable on a meeting, right? Show up on time, look presentable. You have to be able to speak to people in a professional manner, in a way that you won't be hated. Like, there are these behaviors that you see that people have in a corporate 9-to-5 that people just don't have in high ticket sales. Like, I have reviewed so many Loom videos where people are recording a video, right? And these are just some examples that you'll see in the game of sales. People are recording a Loom video for an interview, right? For an interview for a role, which could change their whole life. And they're there sat on their couch, right? Or they're walking around in their house where you can see things in the background. It blows my mind. You are trying to get an opportunity which is going to make you 10, 20k a month potentially, right? Let's say even if it's going to make you 3 to 5k a month, right? That's what most people want to be able to just have. You are trying to get great opportunities that are going to change your life, and you're going to show up with your bed in the background with madness going on. You don't even have the base level professionalism to stand out. How do you expect to be successful, right? And I think that this is a huge issue with the game of high ticket sales, professionalism. And that is why, because the bar is so low, it's actually very easy to stand out if you just show up with a bit of professionalism. If you hold yourself to be someone who's reliable, to be consistent, if you show up to meetings on time, if you can do what you say, right? If you just say you're going to do something and then you just do it, you follow through with it. An offer owner or your sales manager should not have to worry, where is this person? He should be on his shift. He hasn't hit his KPIs for the day. Like, these are just basic level behaviors that a lot of people in the high ticket sales game just don't have. So if you want to be successful in this game, it might be worth looking at, how do I show up, right? These are not difficult things. These are really not difficult things. You literally just need to show up as someone reliable, and you would not get away with these things in a 9-to-5. Why do you feel like you can get away with it in high ticket sales, right? So the second thing is standards. Actually having high standards, because standards are what are going to dictate your actions, and actions are what are going to get you results, right? The level of your actions are going to determine your results, right? So that's point number 2. Now, point number 3 is people thinking that the skill of sales is everything. I'll see this time and time again with beginners. They will spend days, weeks, months just doing role plays, watching videos, and they won't ever take action on applying for roles and doing everything in their power to actually get a role. The reason why you are not making money in high ticket sales, especially if you're a beginner, is not because you haven't done enough role plays. It's because you haven't put all of your time and effort into applying for as many roles as possible. You could become the best at role plays, right? You could be doing that for the next 3 months, but guess what? That's not what's going to get you paid. You need to shift your focus on the highest leverage activity for you right now. The constraint of your business, because that's how I like to see things. Ultimately, this is a business for you. You need to see yourself as a business person. The constraint is you don't have enough clients. And by clients, I mean you don't have enough offer owners that are willing to pay you for you to give them a service. Sales, although you're part of a team, it's going to serve you well to have the mindset of a business owner, right? So the constraint for you as a beginner is that you don't have enough opportunities that are willing to pay you for your service of being a salesperson. You need to stop spending so much time just doing role plays and watching videos and learning the best objection handling techniques. You need to go out there and put all of that time and energy. 90% of your time and energy at the beginning should just be applying for roles and getting access to opportunities, speaking to enough people where somebody can just slip you in an opportunity if you don't have a network right now. Sure, you need to learn the game of sales. I understand that. But if I had 30 days, right, and if my life depended on it and I had no skill of sales or anything like that, but I had the knowledge of what I know right now on what's going to land me a role, I would not spend all of my time learning sales skills. I would spend all of my time looking at how can I increase the chances of me landing a role. I'd apply for every single role I can get my hands on. That is what's going to help you actually succeed in this game. People focus so much time on the skill of sales, and it is a skill, but when you're a beginner, you just need to get on an opportunity which is going to start paying you money. That is what's going to change your situation right now, right? And so many people, they spend 3 months doing role plays, showing up to their group coaching calls if they've joined a program, and then they're so mentally fatigued that they then start applying for roles after 3-4 months and they don't see success, and then they look at, I've been in high ticket sales for the last 6 months and I've still not made much money. No, you haven't been in high ticket sales for the last 6 months. You've been in high ticket sales for the last 2 weeks, because that's when you started applying for roles. You've just been procrastinating for the last 3-4 months. And don't get me wrong, you do need to learn the skill of sales and you do need to practice. But the highest leverage activity for you is going to be, how do I apply for as many roles? How do I get on my first opportunity? Because that opportunity, you being a setter, probably even a DM setter, a setter, a closer, that first opportunity is going to teach you more than any course or anything will, right? And you'll get a lot of benefit from courses and programs and things like that. But you do not learn to swim without getting in the water. You do not learn sales without actually being on an offer and seeing what problems actually come up. What objections do you actually get? How do you better your discovery? Like, these are all things that are going to happen when you're in that pressured environment and it's time to perform, right? Hopefully this was useful, because I see so many people in this game, they complain so much about high ticket sales doesn't work. I don't know how to land a role. I'm not making money, but they're just focusing on the wrong things. And there's these few variables that you can manipulate, and you'll see drastically how you can start to see a lot of success in the game of sales. There's just these few behaviors. If you can start to do them, you'll see success. Hopefully this was useful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.